Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Infusion Breakdown Show. As always, it's your boy Joshua Freeman. To my left, I got Mr. Bryan Carey. To my right, I got Mr. Desmond Tillman. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing well.
Doing good? Doing good?
Don't sound too good.
Fantastic.
Okay.
You say he doesn't sound too good?
I mean, he kind of hesitated.
I don't know, he's pouring
Pouring
them
my almonds, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's allergic, baby.
But how's you guys' weekend been so far? Been chilling?
Yeah.
I wish I could.
Laying low.
Laying low. But yeah, we got 4 questions today. The first question is going to be, is a lie still a lie even if both sides don't know it's a lie? What do you guys think? Remember, comment below. We want to hear everything you guys want to have to say. Let us know, okay? So,
I'm not gonna lie, this was a question I really ain't like.
you didn't like.
So I want to hear y'all.
Are you want to defer?
No, I'm not deferring. I want to hear your side so I can formulate mine.
That's what I meant by defer.
Oh, I thought you meant entirely. Like
No,
I'm
no,
just
no.
not gonna speak.
So
Okay.
my answer to that was no, because a lie, not said no. So a lie is purposely not telling the truth with the intent to deceive someone. So if you happen to tell something that is not completely based in fact, but you're unknowledgeable of that, then you are simply giving misinformation. The intent isn't there.
Okay. This was actually my first question I asked on Instagram, and it's like a random question that came to me. I was like, "Is it a lie?" But
I got a question for you based off that. Can you hold your thought?
Yeah.
Okay, so what were people's responses to it? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I do. I don't remember exactly the percentage, but I know more people said it's still a lie.
Oh, they must be hurt.
Must be. But yeah, this is my first question I asked, and yeah, they definitely said it was still a lie. But yeah, I say no, because I feel both sides aren't conscious of the lie. You know what I mean? I feel our very reality is based off we all make our own rules for our reality. So
Based on what you know, right?
yeah, basically what we know. So since we make our own rules, then isn't it really outside of the rule? As far as if we don't know if it's a lie, like I use the example of if everybody in the world was colorblind, and I said that this was orange, but everybody in the world is colorblind. Is that still a lie? Does that make sense?
I mean, that's still a lie.
It's still a lie.
Yeah. If you say everybody's colorblind,
Are you colorblind?
Yeah, I said everybody in the world is colorblind.
So you're included in that.
Yeah, everybody in the world is colorblind.
you're spreading
And
false information.
And I said, "Oh, this is orange."
But you don't know. You're just declaring.
Take
You
an
don't
educated
know.
guess.
The people don't know. Therefore, we're still a lie because you're spreading false information.
Hold on, if you're colorblind,
Exactly.
you have no way of verifying that. So you're just so you're purposely doing that.
You're being
just
you're
labeling
being
something.
you're being what's the word came
Troll?
and went.
You said a troll.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't be a
Not
troll,
troll.
but I want to say facetious, but I also want to say you're being I cannot think of that word. Starts with a D.
Deceitful.
Deceiving.
Oh, okay.
But do you know that you're wrong too,
As far as
or you're just declaring it
declaring
arbitrarily, saying, "Oh, this is orange."
yeah, it's like basically declaring it. Oh, this is orange, basically. Like, say for instance, okay, what if it's like you did some type of experiment and you realized that this color in the world, oh shoot, this is a different color. This is orange, or something like that.
And that's science. That's more scientific based.
It's more scientific based. So that would be more.
I mean, there's facts to back it.
Okay.
Like, go ahead.
The premise of a lie is there fact that is available to be known to base a lie off of. So in your example with the color blindness, no one in the world knows the real colors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, the color is separate from the truth. They don't know that. So you can't really lie about that. I mean, you can be wrong objectively, but we wouldn't be able to know. We have no way to verify that. You can't verify it.
I believe, I'm going to say yes, it's still considered a lie. But for that specific case, I think if you're looking at it as a lie, then it's a lie because of misinformation. Like, it's still like, if we know it's a lie, but somebody else doesn't know it's a lie, it's still a lie, but it's misinformation to them. So then once they are brought up to speed, they understand that it's what the facts are, then they can now say that, okay, I was believing in a lie the whole time.
So, given that, would you be more merciful if someone lied to you under the premise that they were misinformed versus somebody just blatantly telling you a lie?
Merciful, I think it's just more neutral to where it's like, I guess you can say merciful, but I wouldn't want to say completely merciful because then you're going to be, I guess, more cognizant and you're going to be more, I guess, not inclined to believing what they have to say moving forward. You're not going to put your trust in their word.
So you're not going to punish them.
Yeah, you're not going to punish them, but you're also not going to give them the same trust that you gave them.
But there are consequences.
Yeah.
And the consequence is the trust.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do believe it still is a lie, but it's a lie based off of misinformation.
Okay. So, as far as just the question in general, you still believe it's even if a lie. Okay. So
look at GOP politics.
You said what?
Look at GOP politics.
So I kind of feel this coincides with the question: if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around to hear it, does it still make noise?
Mm-mm.
You don't believe so? Why is that?
Because noise, I guess, and sound is like your sound itself is what your ears or your receptors hear. So if there's no receptors there to receive it, then it doesn't make noise.
Yo, quick side note. So if you eat a piece of strawberry first, and then you eat a piece of star fruit afterwards, it's like 12 times better. Yeah, go ahead and try that out. There's one left, ain't it?
Yeah.
You can have it.
Do you agree?
With what? What he's saying about the tree falling?
Yeah.
I would say no. Because we all know that trees make sound when they fall. You can witness it. So that's the fact.
But it doesn't make a sound till somebody hears it. Like,
but
yes,
you
we know there's a sound made,
yeah,
but we don't know that there's sound made unless we were there to receive it. Like, it's like, okay, you can see outside, a tree could fall right now. The tree hitting the ground makes a sound that you receive it. Mm-hmm. If nobody's there to hear it, obviously it still makes a sound, but it can't be classified as a sound because nobody received it. Like, a tree could fall, nobody hears it, and it says, ah! But because it's outside, we hear a boom. That's sound.
Yeah.
So what's to say a tree if a tree falls and nobody hears it make it? What's to say that the sound is the same?
So you're saying the tree might yell and we just didn't hear it?
Yep.
I don't subscribe to the ideology.
You shouldn't, but so I believe that it didn't make a sound. I believe that it still made a sound as well.
We know
and then somebody broke it down like sound is what you hear.
It's registered.
Yeah.
Something we know certain things are possible and certain things aren't possible. So I say that, we know for a fact that if a tree falls and I can witness it, it doesn't make a sound. We can use deductive reasoning, and therefore say that the tree makes a noise. You don't have to, be there just to hear it. It's good, ain't it? Tastes better, doesn't it?
Oh, my. I fucked up. I ate the star fruit after the strawberry.
What's you supposed to do?
I thought he said the star fruit, didn't I?
Nah.
No, he said strawberry. But okay.
What do you think?
No, I said no. I agree with the. You talking about the tree?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But there's two separate.
No, as far as you talking about.
Who do you agree
with? Question. Oh, who you agree with? I agree with Desmond.
Okay. So you're saying the absence of you being present?
No. You talking about no. I actually agree with Bryan. I'm lying. Yeah. No, I agree with Bryan. But
are you running for president?
No.
Changing your opinion.
Kamala Harris.
Or for president. Okay. But yeah, is there anything else you guys want to say?
I think y'all were both wrong.
You said
you didn't hear the sound, but you know there was a sound there. So you didn't hear it. You didn't experience it. So it could have fell and not made any sound. But you would have never known, but you would have made the assumption that it made a sound because of what you previously using deductive reasoning. It could have fell and said, psst, that's it, crushing leaves. It still made a sound, but you didn't hear it.
Hold on.
So what's to say it actually made a sound?
But we didn't hear it. But you can look and see the leaves are crushed. You can see that there's branches snapped underneath.
But we didn't hear it.
They make sounds though. You can.
They make sounds, but we didn't hear it.
You didn't, but you can use. You are a sentient being capable of using deductive reasoning. I'm not going to go back and forth.
I'm just going off of what sound is.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't feel that's like when you hear sound, it's really like a reality thing, in terms of when I say is a lie, even if both sides don't know it's a lie. I feel if you saying if you're hearing that tree fall, you're in that reality. Oh, I'm hearing that tree fall. But as far as is a lie, you eating nuts.
No, I'm listening.
No, I'm saying you eating nuts is distracting me. But but as far as you, as far as is a lie still a lie? Do you feel? I feel it's kind of a reality thing. Whether you look at it as far as sound and everything like that. But
I get what you're trying to say, but I'm not gonna give you.
You not gonna what?
I'm not gonna give you your answer because somebody could sit here and say like, "Oh yeah, I heard the tree fall," but you didn't hear the tree fall, so now you're going on somebody else's word.
I guess. Yeah.
It's just like the whole lightning thing. Like lightning, obviously, when there's lightning, there's thunder. You didn't hear the thunder, but somebody closer to the lightning strike heard the thunder. Still makes a sound, but I can sit here and say, "Oh, I didn't hear any thunder, so I don't think there was a lightning strike anywhere." But there's somebody somewhere heard it.
Okay.
Couldn't the same be said about the tree?
Yeah, that's why I was playing both sides because at first I was on your side, and then somebody said it. And sound, they were just saying like sound is like something you receive,
it's
like with a sense,
based upon your location.
Yeah.
Okay.
But using specifically, you saying that if a tree falls in the forest, does it still make a sound? The reason why I sit here and say no is because there's no receivers there to receive it.
Mm-hmm. What about the animals?
No one's in the forest.
No one.
Nothing.
Okay.
No one or nothing. Obviously, the animals are there.
But there's other trees, right?
You qualify a tree as a living being, don't you? But we don't know if a tree is capable of hearing.
Okay. I'd love to see that. But people sing to their plants. And they say it
under the assumption that it helps it.
Yeah, that helps it grow. I haven't looked at any of the studies like closely.
It's just is it a theory that has been proven to be
exactly? I haven't looked at it closely enough. Like, I just know like in passing, people have done that and they claim it works. But I haven't looked at the studies close enough to verify, because if that's true, then the plants are capable of receiving sound and has some kind of effect on it. So that would defeat your argument based that trees couldn't hear, because they also have a hearing is just a reaction based upon sound. Right?
So but if we're saying that a tree can hear, then we're implying that it has senses, and if it has senses, then it has the capabilities of being a rational being.
Trees do have senses.
Are we sure?
Positive, because they have their own chemicals that they use to when they're under attack, like from insects. They deploy their own pesticides. They also make chemical signals to tell other plants that they're under attack.
So then the other plants come and help it?
Nah, they just they also put their pesticides out, to prevent them going under attack. It's not like, oh shit, let me get up and go. Let's back up. Like, you don't have to be the fast one; you just got to outrun the other tree. Don't work like that.
But did you change your stance? Because I know you said no. Are you saying yes? It is still considered a lie?
No, I'm not changing my stance.
You're not saying? Oh, okay.
No.
Okay, I'm
No.
sure. But you're saying yes, it's still considered a lie. Okay. All right. But what do you guys think? Is a lie still a lie, even if both sides don't know it's a lie? Comment below. Let us know. Okay. The second question is going to be, what makes a person stay more loyal, no matter in relationships, their beliefs, or life in general? Is it love or is it fear? What do you guys think? Let us know, okay? So,
Desmond, you want to take this one first?
Man, I wasn't. What did we talk? We talked about this before.
I know for a fact we did, but it's not on the episode list, and it must be one of the unposted ones.
yes, it is.
This was back then when we had the Nikon, and it kept turning off after 15 minutes.
I think that was, yeah.
So I actually found out that like, didn't I tell you that you actually have like download software, or not software, but you have to like, I'm not gonna say hack into it, but there's like a specific program that obviously isn't from Nikon. You download onto the to the camera, and it eliminates the record time. Like you actually have to go in and manipulate it because they have it set to 15 minutes so the camera doesn't overheat.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go in, download the software, and pretty much eliminates the record time, so you can record as long as you want to.
But then you put yourself at risk of overheating.
Exactly.
And then you're out of a camera.
Exactly. Put a fan behind it.
Put an ice pack under it.
But I guess I'll take this one first. I've always kind of been under the, I guess, view. I'm not gonna say the assumption, but I feel like loyalty is just like a figment of our imagination. Like we can't measure loyalty. So what's to say that it even exists? What you can define as loyalty is like, yeah, it's traits of a person, but it's traits of a person based off of like contingencies. And I guess that's where you could bring in the whole love and fear thing. But is it possible to be loyal just out of the kindness of your heart? And I kind of look at loyalty based off more of that assumption, not it being fear driven or based off of love, because I feel like if it's loyalty based off of love or fear, then it's not genuine. But if it's loyalty out of the kindness of your heart, then it is really genuine. So if it's something that is driven out of fear or out of love, then I don't think it's something that could be truly appreciated, because it's done because of, you know, circumstances that are out of your hands. Like if a person chooses to cheat, then that's their free will to do so, whether you like it or not. If a person chooses to, you know, leave you for whatever, that's their free will to do so. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if we're going to classify something as loyalty, then it needs to be stripped of like all these contingencies based off of loyalty and fear, love and fear, because it has to be something that is just genuine. It has to be, if we're going to use it as a personality or characteristic trait, it has to be something that is genuine. It can't be something that is contingency, because then your whole entire existence of your character is based off of contingencies as well. It's not something that you really enjoy or something that you really buy into. Mm-hmm. There's like risk and rewards per se. So I feel like if we're going to, I already said it, but if we're going to look at what makes a person stay more loyal, I don't think anything specifically makes them stay more loyal. I think it's just them, their person, who they are. Because if that's the case, then if we're going to base something off of fear and love, it's just inconsistencies. Because love can fade, and then fear can fade. So are you more loyal during love, and then are you less loyal during fear? Like, what's to say?
Are you saying that love and fear have nothing to do with loyalty?
Nah. That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's exactly what you said.
Yeah.
So I say loyalty is behaving in a way that does not betray an individual or a belief system, because the question extends to beliefs, right? So
yeah,
I disagree with just about everything.
So I guess you say I'm more of the in life in general.
Okay. Well, yeah. So I disagree with just about everything you just said. So you said you can't measure loyalty, which I beg to differ. So there's a personal rubric that at least I have. This is how I used to determine. So if I am loyal to this person, if I'm loyal to this belief, I will behave accordingly. And you can ask yourself, are you behaving in line with that? So you can measure that. It may be subjective, but there is a way of measuring. And some things could be objective, but for the most part, it's subjective. So it's a combination of both. Like saying if you like something, then you'll behave this way, but what exactly you do with it is different. But then, loyalty, I feel like loyalty based off of love is genuine, because it's something, you know, out of the kindness of your heart. So it's kind of like combining what you said a little bit. But then if it's out of fear, it's not. So you're only doing it because you're afraid of what might happen as a consequence. So both you guys are familiar with Machiavelli, you know, wrote Prince and all that. So he said one of his rules or chapters was, it's better to be feared than to be loved. And that was from the context of a ruler an authority figure, because you need to have some degree of fear for the people to obey you, but also as a caveat to that, I believe he outlined that you shouldn't be excessive in your force either. So you should be able to carry out and enforce your rules across whatever body that you're sovereign over, but you should also be merciful and caring towards your people. So it's a very fine line. If you cross over it, then you're just a tyrant.
Okay.
Well, for me personally, I knew you were about to ask that, right?
Yeah, I was about to. Yeah.
So personally, for what makes me loyal to somebody or a belief system, like I said, is love.
So you think love makes a person stay more loyal?
I'm not like most people. I say fear for the majority.
For the majority, but
Yeah.
you with love.
Yeah.
Do you have a rebuttal to this?
Do you think that loyalty and respect are two of the same, or are they separate from each other?
Loyalty and respect. Can you respect someone? No, can you be loyal to someone you don't respect?
That's just no.
Can you respect someone you're not loyal to? Yes.
Okay.
Can you respect someone you're not loyal to? Can you be loyal to someone? Yeah. So you can respect someone that you're not loyal to, but you can't be loyal to someone you don't respect. We established that.
Okay.
So can you ask me your question one more time?
What I asked originally?
Yeah.
Are loyalty and respect one and the same, or are they?
They're not. Based off my reasoning. Are you saying that they are?
Mm-mm. Because when you're explaining the tyrant, or like being the leader of someone, and people subscribing to what you believe in, I don't necessarily describe that as loyalty. I kind of I put that more on the respect side.
Well, look here. So you said the loyalty, and you're thinking about the tyrant part, right? So if you're loyal, I think a loyalty is more so acting out your respect and your reverence for whoever or whatever body that is. So if you respect the king, you might just not speak ill of him. But if you're loyal, you'll defend his name in his absence. You'll go to fight for him. That's the difference. Loyalty is backed by action. Respect is backed by
Action as well.
to a lesser degree. Like, you can respect somebody but not go fight for them. Could you not?
Yeah, you can. There's a lot of people that I respect but I wouldn't fight for them. I feel like respect is just a common courtesy, whereas loyalty is.
I don't think respect is common courtesy either.
Why not?
You don't respect people just for the sake of respecting.
I think you should always respect people just for the sake of respecting until they do something that causes you to lose that respect. Loyalty, you can't just pass it around like it's a goddamn what is it? What do they pass around at church? Offering plate. You can't pass loyalty around like that, but respect can be passed around like that until it's severed. I feel like you should always, and it kind of goes into, I guess, like pitching up from the biblical sense, but you'd always treat others the way you want to be treated. And I follow that line of thinking until I am forced to believe otherwise.
Until you're disrespected.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because I don't want nobody just running up on me like, yo, F you, and then from right there we throw in the hands. That's like a lack of respect. Like, I'm gonna respect that person from a distance. I'm gonna respect that person when they come up and talk to me until that respect is broken. Mm-hmm. I think respect is more common courtesy.
I don't think so. I think you respect people. I think the best way to move through life is to respect people who earn respect. And not saying that you don't act as if you respect someone doesn't mean disrespecting them either. So you do convey a certain amount of common courtesy. You're not acting to the detriment or disrespecting someone openly. But it's like a value system.
But I feel like respect I think respect isn't. I don't think respect should be open to multiple interpretations to where we're asking what causes you to. Well, then again, we can, because I'm using respect the same way I think of loyalty.
Right.
To respect is just something you do out of the kindness of your heart. Whereas some people, respect is contingent based off of if they know somebody or if they like somebody. So I guess it's just going to be the same thing with the loyalty. So you would 100% disagree with what I have to say because, like, how I view it. I feel like respect is something that is just, for a lot of people, respect is something that's earned. But I feel like respect for me is something that's given until it's severed. And it's not to come off as like, buddy, or feel like you're friends with everybody. Like I believe in giving everyone a chance and having some form of faith in humanity. Because if I sit here and if I go through life as a pessimist, then I'm potentially robbing myself of potential friendships, potential, opportunities. But that's not to say that those same opportunities and potentials wouldn't be there if I wasn't giving somebody respect right off the bat. So that's why I could understand your side if I were to use it to try and argue against my own.
Well, see, I agree with what you just said about, how respect is, how you move through life.
Yeah.
But I also believe there's different degrees of respect. And there's respect in different domains. So you can respect somebody as an excellent, like Gordon Ramsay. You might think he's an excellent chef. You respect his culinary skills, correct?
Yeah.
I just watched one of his videos this morning. Phenomenal. Gonna try it out tomorrow. But yeah, you respect his culinary skills, but you might not like the way he talks to people, like how he comes off as snobbish. Unless he's working with the kids, because I've seen the show where he talks to the children. He works with them a little differently. But I'm not saying. What I'm saying is you can respect people along different domains of their life. It's not completely flat across.
So you can respect somebody for their craft, but you're pretty much separating the two. So how I'm saying is you can okay.
Kind of what we talked about last week about separating the artist from their music or their artwork.
I was about to say, do you respect artists? Or do you respect Hitler's artwork?
Yeah, you said that last week. You said Hitler was a great artist, right?
Do you respect his artwork? But of course,
can you respect artwork?
You acknowledge it as being good, right? So what is respect? How would you define respect?
I think I describe just common courtesy, being respectful.
Respect is common courtesy.
Yeah,
you can't define a word with itself.
Nah. Oh, you
said being respectful.
Yeah, I did. Damn. How can I be? Let's see. I guess from my perspective, treating someone with the same, I guess, good respect. I guess it's kind of like me acknowledging and also giving good where good is due. And that's to say that if we're all created the same, I feel like everybody deserves that respect until it's severed.
Right.
I don't try and make respect to be something so complex because I feel like respect is simple. Either you have it or you don't. And I feel like some people, they can go through life not really understanding respect and rubbing people the wrong way, but it might not be them being disrespectful. It's just them living, the way they choose to be. So I don't know, man. It's kind of hard for me to like kind of talk about not respect itself, but talk about like old subjects because I kind of like say everything then and then I dump it.
It's crazy because so I see our definitions of respect also differ. I see that's why we have a disconnect. So my definition of respect is the amount of reverence you have for something, encompassing people and ideas and beliefs. It's just the reverence versus you have this typical like golden rule type view of respect.
Yeah.
So we're not even looking at through the same lens.
Yeah, that's how I definitely feel you guys are different because when you said it's just common courtesy, I was thinking like a lot of people don't think that. A lot of people think, a lot of people you have to earn your respect and everything like that. So
and that's why I said I don't try and make it too complex.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean you're disrespecting people either by just giving them I believe in common courtesy. I don't believe in being disrespectful.
Could it be that their standard is a little higher when it comes to like respect? Because you think, this is common courtesy, but respect with me, I got
the reason why
I have to earn that. Like
the reason why I just make common I kind of view respect like just as the golden rule because I feel like as humans we try to overcomplicate things and then we put like levels to shit. And I think by like us placing levels and expectations and all this other stuff, it kind of robs us of like joy, potential joy. And when you kind of like put all this stuff into, and it needs to be there because it obviously, like these structures and everything kind of.
I feel like you putting respect is just, you putting respect on that standard is just not unrealistic, but kind of, well, I guess you could say unrealistic for the people, because common courtesy, everybody's not going to have common courtesy. So I feel you putting it at that level is kind of, in a way, unrealistic.
The reason why it's realistic for me is because I have acknowledgement of the terrible, how terrible society is as human beings. And so instead of me just going through life like thinking everyone's bad and always assuming the worst, it's kind of like me, like, I know you feel some type of way about me because of the color of my skin. I know you feel some type of way about me because I'm walking in the same place that you're walking in, and 50 or so years ago this wouldn't be possible. So it's like I'm going to show you straight up that like I'm not going to be like the old, F the white man, F this and that. I'm going to give you the same respect that I want in return, because at the end of the day we put our pants on the same way, we brush our teeth the same way, we take showers the same way for those who take showers. And we essentially all raise ourselves and our children to want to achieve the maximum amount of good in life. That in itself, like when you kind of strip it down to its core and you look at what everybody's trying to achieve out of life, that itself deserves some form of respect. So I feel like if you are striving for good, if you are trying to do something for, other people, and other people could literally be your children, that itself, deserves some form of respect. It might not be this great magnitude of, I'll give my life for this person because I respect them, but it's like, you just deserving like the simplest form of respect because you on this earth breathing the same way I'm breathing. That's how I view it.
So Desmond's kind of respect, not my kind. Right?
Yeah. Like the simplest form. Like that's why I say I don't try and overcomplicate it, because I feel like respect is simple.
Because I don't respect somebody for taking a shower. You're supposed to wash up.
But I won't say that.
You were
because
supposed to.
certain religions and
Supposed to.
I think it's just something we've come accustomed to. Because people in the 1800s didn't shower every day.
I don't think everybody in the United States feel you're supposed to wash up.
You feel like people are supposed to wash up because you don't want to be in the same vicinity as somebody that stinks.
You should be hygienic, yes.
That's an unfair expectation, though, because not everybody can afford to be hygienic.
That is true.
You've been afforded the luxury to be hygienic. So part of having that respect is understanding what you are privileged with.
But even then, still, I don't respect people just for taking a shower.
I'm not saying you should respect people for just taking a shower.
I mean, you just say you respect people for meeting the basic qualifications of the human condition, because you're breathing, because you're a person, because you're here. I respect you.
But taking a shower isn't the basic form of human living. That's a luxury that we were afforded as technology advanced.
It's funny. It's one of those things where I just feel it's intuitively right. Like, it's just something you should do, but you can't really defend it. Because if someone was to sit there, we had a special guest come and sit there, and they were to tell us, "Hey, I don't take showers. I don't bathe at all." I mean, I'm pretty sure we could tell from smelling them, but we will all inherently know there's something that's not socially acceptable. That something's off with
But
that.
societal norms are man-made,
Right? But society isn't bad either. It's not all bad either.
which is why I kind of carry the mentality that I do, to kind of try and prove that society isn't all bad. Like I said, if you have like a negative aspect of life, me treating you with respect might be like, well, damn, he actually, even though he didn't look like it, he actually kind of cared.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like for me, respect and caring kind of fall in the same category. I can't care for somebody I don't respect. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm driving on the interstate, somebody cuts me off, I lose all respect for that person. Because I'm going to cut somebody off. That's just the way it is. Like, we're flawed human beings. We're going to do what we do. But, like, you just doing that one minor thing isn't going to cause me to lose respect for you, because it's a luxury we were afforded. And we can't expect everybody to do the same with the same luxuries we are all afforded. Because everybody's afforded the luxury who has a house with a shower to take a shower. But it's also, as far as, like, what they grew up in, what they've come accustomed to, what they can afford to do, and then if you're going to bring in religious beliefs, what does their religion subscribe to?
What religion says you can't bathe? I'm just curious.
Well, I mean, if you kind of, I'm not gonna say it's bathing, but it might be like, okay, the deodorizers and stuff. Because I think, is it the Indians? They don't wear deodorant
Because of the alcohol in it. But there's non-alcoholic deodorants.
there is non-alcoholic deodorants, but for them, it's deodorant in itself. So I'm not gonna sit here and say that I don't respect their entire body of people because they don't wear deodorant. Like they can essentially achieve the same things out of life that I can achieve. So why not respect them until they do something to, lose that respect? Like that would be me saying that I don't respect any North Korean because they're programmed to hate Americans.
Yeah.
Like that's flawed thinking. That's them pretty much. That pretty much goes into my belief of what, or my rationale for the first question.
So me not liking something about someone could. You remember how I said like respect is faceted?
Yeah.
So just someone, I hate to keep going to the funk example of someone not bathing. Like it seems like we're dwelling on it a lot, but it illustrates the principle. So I feel like I might not like that about them. I don't want to be around that person, certainly. But you can still, I could, given my kind of respect, my definition of it, I could still respect someone for their contributions to the world and what they do.
Period.
If they're doing something.
Period.
I'm saying I have the capacity to. I'm just not going to hand out respect arbitrarily. I'm not Oprah.
You get respect.
Yeah, right.
But even taking that, like, even if they aren't contributing to society in a positive way,
Are they building themselves up, trying to improve?
I don't think that should
Personally, I mean, I respect that.
be. Okay.
You can choose not to, but that's not the base condition of life.
I know it's not the basic condition of life, but I'm trying to unsubscribe from what we perceive to be, the norm. Because at the end of the day, all that shit is like man-made. If you subscribe into materialism, you're going to lose sight of like what's really valuable in life. If you kind of follow that, like if you're placing all your value in material things, and you are living life every day, making your dollar so you can go spend it on material because that brings you joy. Mm-hmm. There's a disconnect somewhere. I don't respect you any less because you choose to subscribe to that form of living, but it's not right by me. I can't go to you and trust you to, give me the best advice on certain things because your whole emotional system is wired to, the dopamine effect you get when you buy something new. You don't get the same joys out of those people experiences. That's why I kind of like, as being an introvert and understand I got to break out of my shell. Mm-hmm. For me, the first way of breaking out of my shell was to give respect until respect is broken. That way I could like, when you walk up to a random stranger and you hold a conversation with them, like the, meanest person, walk up to, or somebody that has the meanest look on their face, walk up to them and have a conversation, and that changes everything. Kind of like, what are you walking around mad for? What do you have to be mad about? You're living, you're breathing. Kind of like get the joys out of life so you can make some changes and, do something different than what's always giving you the least amount of joy and the max amount of pain. That's why I kind of take the respect approach, because it's just, it could be the building block for, somebody to do something different. Mm-hmm. So it's not me just like saying, like, it's not me ignoring the fact that society is messed up, but it's also like me acknowledging society is messed up and seeing what little change I could do by just changing my views of things. Because I did have a very elitist attitude where I felt like people didn't deserve to be on the same playing field as me. And I realized that, the amount of stress, like subconscious stress that it caused by like people watching and always trying to be alert and aware of your surroundings, like nobody's trying to, people live like that, but it's not the ideal way of living. It's very stressful.
You can't. It's not good in the long race. You can't maintain it.
You can't unless you have been beat to maintain it. And not physically beat, but mentally beat. Like if you're in the Navy, they beat that type of stuff into your head. Always be aware of your surroundings. And I get that if you are not aware of surroundings, it leads to potential hazards. But nevertheless, like if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. That's kind of my approach. Like just unhinging everything and see where it takes me. Not to try and live completely like, I guess like you could say like a monk or something like that, to where you just love and respect everybody. But I don't love everybody, but I definitely try to respect everybody until it's severed.
But do you see the utility in functioning or do you see the utility in the way that I'm approaching respect?
Because how you approach respect is how I used to approach respect. That's why I'm trying to argue against it as best as I could, because it's me arguing against my former belief system.
But I don't see the issue with it.
There's no issue with it. But I just explained what my issue with it was.
I do believe in trying to maximize the amount of good and doing things
Yeah.
to bring the best out of other people too. And I don't feel like me making people not making people earn respect, but respecting people who have earned it isn't detrimental to anyone.
Yeah. But and reason why I don't have any problem with that thought is because you're not walking up to somebody and just because you don't respect them, you're saying, somebody says hi and you just walk right by them. You're still giving them common courtesy.
What's up?
And that's exactly. But but with me, it's just walk up to me and say hi. I say hi back. And it's not like me just looking over my shoulder, waiting for some shit to happen. Not saying that you do either, but it's you went out of your way to say, hey, I can respect you for that. Because that hey could have been I could have been having the worst day ever, and you speaking out to me and a random stranger doing one random act of kindness, it can make all the difference.
Okay. But back to the actual question, because you guys kind of went over to respect rather than loyalty. But I mean, I know you say it doesn't really coincide.
I think we ran off on the tangent because
I forgot about the question.
When you thought she was just talking respect,
we just entered some kind of a warp dimension or something.
You gotta bring it back in.
Yeah,
reel it back in.
But about the actual question, what makes a person stay more loyal no matter relationships, their beliefs, or life in general? Is it love or fear? I do believe
we did answer it.
Well, you answered. I didn't answer.
Okay,
I didn't get a chance. But you did say fear, right?
Yeah.
Majority fear, but you yourself said love. Though,
Right.
I also said fear, but I said my personal beliefs kind of causes me to believe their beliefs, what they believe.
Oh, I didn't hear you say fear, but I know you said loyalty. I don't really believe in loyalty because
that's why I'm saying that my personal view of loyalty is belief based, but society's subscription to loyalty is fear based.
Okay, but yeah, I actually agree with both of you guys. Is fear. I just believe that fear lasts longer than love, but I forgot you guys kind of pretty basically touched on it. People can fall out of love. People are more than likely to fall out of love than to overcome their fear, I believe. Do you guys agree with that? I feel people are definitely more likely because, especially in a country that is built off of fear in a way.
What if your fear is falling in love?
What if your fear is falling in love?
Because you could say that just off of our experiences that people fall out of love, but the people that do get married and go on to be married for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, that love trumped all the previous relationships of a 5-year span to where they're falling in and out of love.
Are you counting those more than the ones that actually fear actually ends up trumping that?
Nah.
How do you know there's more of those that overcome that fear of falling in love? Okay. I don't believe that there's more. That's what I'm saying.
You don't believe there's more people that remain loyal because of love than fear? In a relationship aspect?
No, yes.
Okay.
You don't agree?
No. I was just trying to argue against your point. Because I was sitting here saying, if you're going to base, people falling in and out of love, you can't just close the window to your years of adolescence to where you're going in and out of multiple relationships, because ultimately when you find that one relationship that goes on to last your lifetime, it trumps all the other ones in both love, emotion, and then also in time, the duration per se.
Okay. But yeah, I just feel. Yeah, I do agree though. It's fear.
You still stick by it.
Yeah, I still stick by it. That it's definitely fear though. Yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, the actual this country was built more off of fear than off of love. So that would actually make sense that society that you guys
Functions
agree,
the same way.
yeah, that society functions the same way. When white men came off the boat, they wasn't trying to love the Native Americans. They were trying to instill fear because they were trying to show them that they was in power. Basically,
How do you think measles and mumps and rubella and all that was transmitted?
Through a jar? No.
Through hugs.
Yeah.
They were hugging the natives.
But yeah. But yeah, I just feel it's fear, and that's how the country was built off of, basically. More
Right.
fear than more love, and I feel you can say it's a shame that people fall out of love more than they overcome their fear. Do you agree with that?
I feel like just me giving
Can't
you an
measure
answer.
it.
Huh?
You can't measure it.
No, you can. You can. I would not be happy giving you an answer right now. You know, of the small one. I would actually like to devote some more time. and
Just
thought
think
to
about
this.
it.
Yeah, because I feel like anything else would be insufficient. And the answer I would give you now, I might come up with something different later tonight.
But yeah, that's how I feel though. Is there anything else you guys wanna
Man, let's get away from this topic.
go?
Let's talk about respect.
This is one of those topics that, like, if we
Feel
would have had everything, you know, up and running from day one, the first one of it would have looked a lot and sounded a lot better.
I feel like this is better.
It was better because we dived deeper into it, but the delivery wasn't where it should have been.
Oh, just for you.
Yeah.
You always look at it for one lens. This man's over here.
Did I not? What did I say last
Yeah.
episode?
Narcissistic. You told that. But
Improvement.
what do you guys think though? What makes a person stay more loyal, no matter in relationships, their beliefs, or life in general? Is it love or is it fear? Let us know. Okay, comment below. All right. The third question is going to be.
If money cannot buy happiness, can you ever be truly happy with no money?
He said it. If money can't buy happiness, can you ever be truly happy with no money? So.
I think okay. So the way you frame the question,
was this worded the right way?
What do you mean?
If money cannot buy happiness, can you ever be truly happy with no money?
Yes.
Okay, I get what you. Okay.
I would have said without money, but yeah, I understood what
Oh, you said
meant.
with that. Wait, what you put?
Nothing. I'm just let's.
Oh, I thought you said something.
So, I think the way that you frame the question, you're looking at it as the extreme end of it. Can you be happy with no money whatsoever? And that is completely false, because you still need your basic needs still need to be met.
So you're saying no, you cannot be happy?
No,
Okay.
because the way you frame, you said with no money, not saying without being rich. You didn't ask that, did you? You said with
I just said no money. No
You said
money.
with rabbit ears. When you check your pockets and you pull them out, you see pocket lint.
Nada.
Okay, cool. So no,
Zilch.
because you can't fulfill your basic biological needs. You can't buy food. You can't get water. You can't afford a place to stay, transportation, any of that. How are you going to be happy? Please tell me.
And you're not even going to be happy even if you're just satisfying your basic needs.
Exactly.
Because then you're going to realize there's more.
So I think the question defeats itself.
I feel like if financial issues are the main source of your unhappiness, then yeah, money can buy happiness. But it's temporary happiness. Like your financial burdens are lifted, so you have a reason to be happy. But what's to say you're not going to go fuck up again? And what's to say that you're not going to fall, in love with the idea of having money? Because what happens when that money's not there? You have nothing. So you if your foundation of, happiness is based off of materialistic needs or money, then there's always going to be happiness, but that happiness is only going to be contingent off of if your pockets are full. So, and that's just tagging off of that, like of what I said, to where even if you do have the basic necessities, but if money cannot buy happiness, can you ever be truly happy with no money? And I would say, I think it depends.
It depends on what, because you disagreed with me.
Yeah, based off of my view, but I'm gonna say it depends on like what life you live. Like, what if you're a monk? You don't need money. You subscribe to the church. You're happy, or you subscribe to whatever monks believe in.
But the monks They're getting nourishment.
They are, but we're not focused
just
on
focus.
your living
So
necessity.
You're saying they're on the fringes of society. They don't exist within within our traditional system, which they have everything that they need.
Yeah.
So if you have your food, your shelter, and all that, that's different.
It is different. That's why I said it depends. Okay. I was saying if we're basing off of Western capitalistic views, then no, you'll never be happy with no money.
We wouldn't be here in 3 days. Isn't it 3 days? You don't have any water.
Is it 3 days?
I don't know.
I thought it was more.
I have no idea.
I think it's like 10 days without food, 3 without water.
Oh, okay, man. I was thinking about food, but okay. But yeah, that's interesting. But did you?
What do you think?
Oh no, I actually agree with you guys that no. Actually, I agree with Desmond. Actually, that I don't know if you changed your stance though.
No,
you didn't. You didn't change. Okay, but yeah, I agree with Desmond that it really does depend though. I don't know how. I want to say yes initially to the question. Yes, you can be happy, but I don't know how far that can go in the United States as far as this society, the Western society, basically. What you say, because you have no money, basically cash rules everything around us.
Yeah, let's talk about you.
But some people in poverty get happiness based off of family. Like they find their source of happiness in the struggle. Like they acknowledge that they don't have shit, but they have each other, and that's their form of happiness. They're seeing their family is what keeps them moving every day.
That's a good basis of happiness, but your needs aren't being met.
Yeah.
I have yet to see. I've never seen someone starving that was happy.
But we've also never been to third world countries and actually.
You don't know where I've been.
Well, where have you been?
Not to a third world country. I see infomercials though.
Bro, I feel like they find like the worst cases and just
they probably
there they go.
Yeah.
And then again we don't even know we don't even know their story.
Man. They stage it.
Exactly.
So you can't. So are you saying you can't be happy in the United States without money?
No,
you can't be. Can you?
I'm saying I can't be happy without money. Like I'm looking at.
I figured you.
Yeah,
I just not figured that.
The food, man.
I don't know, man. I mean,
you can do.
I feel like homeless people
type stuff and start growing your own stuff.
I mean, I do that, but it's just
that's what I'm telling you.
There's something I would need. So you're saying I would have to buy seeds. So you're saying, well, I have to harvest everything, like go out and forage.
They can do it on The Walking Dead. They can do it.
This is difficult. I'm gonna be pretty mad.
I'm kidding.
I'd be pretty upset initially.
But okay. But do you feel you saying in the United States you need money to be happy?
Yes, if you don't subscribe into the belief system of like material goods.
But that's extremely hard in the United States, though. Extremely hard.
If you subscribe into the beliefs. Because once you subscribe into the beliefs, it's hard to let go of.
Okay, what is the percentage of people you believe that doesn't?
Very small, like very
less
very
than 1%.
Yeah.
Okay, and so
you're looking at hypotheticals versus what actually is.
But we don't really know if those people are unhappy though. Like we can sit here, we can find multiple people that don't have shit and be like, damn, they aren't happy. But who are we to like coming from where we've had everything? Hypothetically speaking, where we've had everything, we can't speak on somebody else's situation because we've come accustomed to always having, and therefore we can't imagine not having. Whereas the people that don't have nothing, they find their happiness in ways different than ours,
in their simplicity and their style of living. Yeah, but there's also certain things that are you can't argue, like the basic biological needs.
As far as like okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm trying to think. I'm not saying I've never seen a homeless person, like, say for instance.
But the reason why Brett said the homeless person, but because if we're going to use the 3 days like without water and then the 10 days of, food, there's a reason they're still here.
Approximately.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly.
So
I never tried.
Yeah, like there's a reason they're still here.
That's what I was about to go into. Yeah, as far
they might not be happy with life based off of our standards, but they might be perfectly fine with life based off of their standards.
For those 3 days, is that what you're saying?
Well, no, I mean homeless people. There be homeless people sitting on the corners for longer than 3 days. They're getting something. They're getting some basic nourishment.
Yeah.
Spare change.
Going into the gas station, buying a Coke and some Black and Milds.
So, are you?
You're talking about nourishment and then Black and
Milds. That's their form of nourishment.
Are they eating the tobacco?
You got a lighter, bro? Come on, let me.
Oh, they want to warm the meal up. Got you.
Oh my god. So, so are you saying that people with money
have different expectations?
No. I'm saying, are you people with money, or is that temporary happiness? Like people in the United States that have money, are they saying that's only temporary happiness, or is that actually really happiness?
I mean, I'm coming from a person that doesn't have an abundance of money. I can't tell you.
Okay.
I can't speak on somebody else's happiness because I don't know what drives them. I don't know what they find joy in doing. Because it's almost like the people that have money know how to make more money without overworking themselves or experiencing burnout like how we do. Like if you aren't ridiculously rich, if you're not making over six figures, and even some people make six figures experience burnout, but they're willing to take that risk because they're satisfied with their wages.
They're accustomed to it.
Exactly. So, since I don't do burnout, I can't speak for somebody making six figures experiencing burnout and say that they are unhappy. They might be perfectly fine with what they're doing. And they might not subscribe to personal development and all that stuff because they have all their basic needs met and then some. Like a lot of people find their happiness in just buying nice cars and then going for their Sunday drive to release all their tension. That's how they get their happiness. Like people get happiness from other things, so we can't put just these, again, like I said, I feel like happiness is something that's far more complex than any of the other topics we talked about.
And happiness isn't solely contingent on money either.
Yeah.
Because even someone per se, let's get a life insurance claim. So a woman loses her husband, but she gets X million dollars, whatever amount you want to fill it in with. But she doesn't have her husband, and I'm pretty sure. Actually, I can't say that, but some people would. She may prefer to have. I don't know their relationship, but this is all hypothetical. Maybe she's glad he's dead. I don't know, but some people have it like that, where they might have the money, but the money can't buy that person, so they much rather have that person there than have the money. So even if you have money, it's not guaranteed that you'll be happy. We don't know what comes with it. We don't know everyone's story behind how they achieve that wealth.
That's just what the United States make it seem like it is contingent on happiness, as far as it is contingent on how much money you have and everything like that, because materialism and everything like that, especially with
it's part of it.
Especially with I guess not really. It's just kind of with Instagram, as far as what you have, as far as good looking clothes and stuff like that, as far as people thinking, oh my goodness, that's happy, they're happy, oh my goodness, or even with
instead of not realizing they aren't seeing the full picture and the full 24 hours out every day. You only seeing what
different spots, yeah. But yeah, is there anything else you guys want to add to this topic as far as
no sir, as
far as money and happiness and all that?
I'm good off that.
I want to do an experiment.
As far as what?
So after this video is live, I'll be posting a link to the GoFundMe, and we can see how much money we can get and see if that makes us happier.
Okay. Yeah.
Y'all down with it?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Cash App, we got it too.
Gonna be in the description. Link in the description. But
like IG models.
IG.
Cash App and bio. Hate that. Disgust me.
But if money, what do you guys think though? If money can't buy happiness, can you ever be truly happy with no money? Let us know. Comment below, okay? All right. The fourth question is going to be: should Ralph Northam should have resigned? So that's his name, right? Northam. Right.
What did we say? Yeah, Northam.
Okay. Yeah. Should Ralph Northam should have resigned? So. What do you guys think? And if you guys not familiar with the actual story, Ralph Northam is the governor of Virginia. He was who found the photo?
I don't know. Somebody snitched on him. Essentially, someone in the article that I read that somebody dug the photo up in the yearbook and they released it.
Yeah, but it was a yearbook photo that was found of him in college. I'm pretty like Virginia. Eastern Medical School.
1984.
1984. Yeah, I thought it was 86, but 1984. It was a picture of a white guy in a blackface, and then another guy in a Ku Klux Klan outfit. I don't know which one he was. You don't know? Okay, I didn't think.
He doesn't know which one he was either.
And I was reading like the headlines and everything. He was like. It was like some type of drunk quote or something like that. It was weird. So I guess they was like drunk and stuff like that. But yeah, Governor of Virginia caught in in college with racist garments on. So should he have resigned?
Hold on.
What's that?
Yeah, there's more to the story.
There's more.
Yeah.
What else?
So after, I believe that was a Friday when that came out when he addressed it, and he said that. When he apologized for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the next day he recanted.
Yeah.
And I believe he said, what did he say? Yeah, he said he was not convinced. He said he was convinced that he was not in that racist photo in his yearbook. So that's what he said the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the same news conference, he said that he had previously put on blackface and
wanted to be like Michael Jackson or something.
Yeah, blackface to be Michael Jackson.
Like
exactly.
Michael Jackson. I guess for Halloween, I'm assuming.
I don't know.
I believe it was for Halloween, but yeah, keep going.
He put
people, he just doesn't randomly. It's different between randomly dressing up like blackface. So yeah,
it's a Monday.
I want to do today. Just dress up like Michael Jackson.
Moonwalk in the chemistry class. That's all I wanted to add to it. There's more context to it.
But yeah, so what do you guys think? Comment below. Should he have resigned? So. I don't know.
I want to hear what Desmond has to say. Because this is your first time, you knew about the incident, right?
Yeah. So I am. How do I even want to say this without coming off? Should Ralph Northam have resigned? I'm gonna say yes, based off of principles itself. It's just stuff that you don't do.
What principle?
I'm gonna say stuff like.
Why are you laughing?
I'm sorry. The way you said it.
You want the dignity, respect, and then also respect for your constituents, people who voted you in the office. Like, ultimately, there's a past that not everybody has, been aware of. That people kind of want to know now. Like, what are your real views? Are you subscribing to 21st century views because it gives you the backing you need based off from millennials and younger voters, and younger voters are typically more passionate about racisms and things of social societal norms per se, and things that are accepted and not accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Then the other part of me says I don't care, because having grown up in Virginia my whole life and living 15 minutes away from a school where notorious for racism, and I'm not gonna put that school on blast, but constantly hearing stories about there being KKK meetings, and even white people like coming into the school like freely using nigga and not being challenged. Like, it's just something that I was conditioned to believe it's all right. And then as I got older and I educated myself, it was also like, what, this stuff is not okay. So that's why I say a part of me doesn't care, because it's also like me sitting here saying like, I was once one of the kids that really didn't care too much about racism. And then as I educated myself, it's something that I do believe should strongly be like rebuked and why he should resign. Mm-hmm. The logical Desmond says yes, he should have been out of office, less than 24 hours after the photo surfaced. But then I'm also sitting here saying like, he is from Virginia. Racism is no shy, there's nothing shy about racism in Virginia. The first slaves came off the boats into Virginia. So it's like, I can't necessarily fault him for 100% for
You can't fault him because of the culture.
No. I can't necessarily fault him 100% because of his own ignorance, but at the same time, in 2019, it's completely unacceptable. Like you have to not sit here and say like, you know, I apologize for the photo, then come out and say I don't know if it was me. It should have just been I'm sorry.
Does it make a difference that the photo was in 1984?
But what you're doing, you're judging a 1980 and 84 incident based on 2019 standards.
Yeah. But it should have been the same. That's what I'm saying. Like he should have been gone. But
it was not the same standards.
Yeah,
in 1980.
that's what I'm saying. That's why I say, you know, I'm not gonna say irrational, but you know, like Desmond, who has seen racism and understands that, you know, that's what white people do. Not all white people, but you know, white
we know
white Virginians. They not to put everybody in just one, you know, basket, but it's just stuff that I've seen. So it's stuff that's not surprising. It's stuff that should cause concern and like there should be a conversation about it. There's a conversation to be had about it. But at the same time, it's not entirely surprising, which is why I can't really, you know, care too much about it.
Okay.
Like, part of me is like, yeah, he should have resigned, but it's also like, he's a white Virginian. This is stuff that we see.
So you're saying you're not
day.
surprised?
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm not necessarily saying that, like, you know, seeing KKK outfits in 2019 is completely different than what it was in '84, because it is and it isn't. Like, it is because we're supposed to be moving away from racism, but at the same time, it's also what, you know, white people grew up around. Like, racism is something that's taught. That's stuff that they see, and then they choose to subscribe to it or not. So that's all I'm saying. He should resign, but at the same time, being you know, a resident of Virginia for 20 plus years, it's not a surprise.
You say that, and I believe that people, like, there are a lot of white people who are unconsciously racist too, and just don't realize it. Like, there's people who, like, on Halloween dress up like Mexicans and stuff like that, and just don't realize how racist they're actually being, because that's how they grew up, basically. Like Desmond was saying.
They also portraying the most negative parts of the culture. I think there was an incident at ODU, wasn't it? You guys remember?
I heard of a lot of incidents.
It was a sorority, and they had dressed up like the cholas, like Mexican female gangsters, but they weren't celebrating the positive parts of the culture. So that's what my problem.
It's just what looks cool.
It's what the part they were highlighting. They weren't highlighting, you know, how wonderful they are as a culture, and you know, the togetherness they have and stuff. It wasn't any of that.
Yeah, they really don't realize.
Would that still been racist?
Huh?
Would that still have been racist if you were celebrating the positive parts of a culture?
Nah, it would have been racist. No, I feel a lot of people. I hope a lot of black people feel that's the problem with the cultural appropriation, that they don't study a lot of part of culture rather than just studying it or just copying it in general.
It's kind of like cherry picking. You know, you get the parts that you want.
Yeah, but but people don't realize that about like unconscious racists. We don't realize that because they're privileged mostly, because they're like, oh, I mean, I'm privileged in this, so I was being racist, really? Oh, I'm sorry, my bad, I didn't know.
Privilege and it's a part of their culture. Like, when you think back to old movies, like white men portraying black men wore blackface. Like, it's stuff that isn't so far-fetched to where it's like, you know, oh, I'm just going to dress up as a black person. It's potentially stuff that they've seen before, and they've just subscribed to it. That's why I'm saying part of it doesn't surprise me, because the same way, like, us as black men, like, we subscribe to the negatives of our culture, white people subscribe to the negatives of their culture, and it just so happens that it's far more racism and, you know, genocide and killings that is associated with, you know, white American culture that is always going to cast that negative shadow. Like, just how you know, white people always question, why do black people still use the N-word? Like, you can't question why we use the word when our history doesn't even contain half of the BS that your history contains. So you can't pick and choose. Like, you know, if you're not gonna come clean and you're not gonna address all your wrongs as a human being and as a culture, then don't try and dictate what another culture should use.
Okay. So you brought up an interesting point about the film, right?
Yeah.
So are you familiar with the first Birth of a Nation?
Yeah.
And that's where the watermelon stereotype came from with black people. So they were just, a lot of people, they hadn't been exposed to black people, they hadn't been around them before, and so they were just going off what they had seen in that film. So that's how that was perpetuated. Is that the correct word for it? Yeah. So I was just making sure. So that's where that comes from. But then, so I have a controversial opinion on this, is I don't think he should have resigned. Because
Yeah.
I don't condone anything I don't condone him doing the blackface.
All right.
I don't think he should have done it. But for us to,
But you don't know he could have been in the Ku Klux Klan?
I don't know that. I don't.
Would it have been better? Worse?
That's why. What the exact question you're asking is why I said he should have resigned, because there's so much question about it, and there should have been dialogue that should have been had instead of him apologizing and then coming out and saying a completely different thing.
There's more to it though. So I don't think he should have resigned because of that. Because that we're judging someone based off, like I said, there's a difference in time period, the standards, and then also something that he's done in his past. So there's stuff that in each one of our past that we wouldn't want to be held accountable for. And then so you got to think about the standard that you're setting. So let's say that he does resign now. So then it's someone who we support this office. Let's say Josh is he's the next governor. And then we found out Josh did something 10 years ago. And, we support you, right? And we find that out. Are you supposed to resign now? Are we expecting everyone? Because no one is perfect. Yeah. Everyone's done something. So do we expect everyone to resign?
I think the only issue with that thinking is the assumption that they have strayed away from those beliefs or that train of thought.
Right. That's true. But then also you have to. I look at it from the perspective of what has he done in his office as governor?
Yeah.
Has he done anything that was racist? Does his personal views interfere with his ability to do his job effectively? Yeah. Because everyone has a belief that you don't believe with, that you don't necessarily agree with. But let's say like the cashier, what's the last place you ate at? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Panda Express.
The cashier was racist. Do you care?
It depends on the incident.
No, Josh.
I'm gonna say yeah.
You don't.
Yeah, it depends on the incident.
No, I'm saying if they were able to give you your food,
I probably would leave.
I probably wouldn't want it. Racism brings that, like, being degraded as an individual brings like.
No, I'm not saying that they were racist to you. Like that's just their personal belief.
Oh, you're just saying like we don't know.
That's their personal belief. You might know, but that's their personal belief. You might see them outside of work, but at the cash register, their job is to take your money and give you your food. If they can do that effectively until you have a good day. What's the issue with it? Do you still have an issue with it? With them being racist?
Because it's ignorance at the end of the day. Yeah. Well, like you said, we couldn't know.
Their belief is ignorant, but I'm saying, would that interfere with you going to?
No, I was saying ignorance is in we not knowing.
I'm looking at it. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at this scenario. Like, if we know that person is racist in some way, like say for instance, we saw them in another setting or something like that, being racist.
You could have, yeah.
Okay, I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't eat there. I would probably walk out, to be totally honest with you.
And if you didn't see them in another setting, but that was just their personal belief.
I wouldn't know, so what I don't know wouldn't hurt. So let's say if I found out after the fact, I wouldn't be like,
I went to the restaurant. So let's say you've eaten there for years. You go to that Panda Express all the time, right? So
and the same person.
For the sake of this, yeah, they've been there for years.
I don't think we should say that. I think we're giving a cashier too much power. I think you should say local business owner that you subscribe to.
Okay, a local business, the owner of the Panda Express. Okay, so
say Chick-fil-A or something like that.
You told me that, so I just went off.
Oh, okay.
But so you've been there for years and years and years. You've interacted with this person, and they always been kind to you, but then you find out that they're racist. Like in the conference, and not saying it's like definitely I disagree with the belief. That's without saying.
How often would that scenario even come up if they're really racist to the point and then they're kind to you? Like,
I would say quite a bit. Because there's a lot. Like, why is it that we're finding out people are racist 20 years later? Like, come on now. Racist. Okay. Like, do you really think everybody's blatant about it?
I'm gonna answer it for you. If I'm subscribing to this business, I understand that me giving this business owner my hard-earned money helps keep him in business, and that there's probably a lot of other black people giving their money to him, and then comes out 5 or 6 years after I've been subscribed to this business, I would leave because at the end of the day, like, racism is racism. No matter, you can't like try and sit here and break it down. Like, racism is one of those things where it's really just black and white.
And I feel like you're really supporting what they're doing and their not necessarily their beliefs, but with their productivity, as far as in a way, because you're.
So I'm not disagreeing with it. I just wanted to provoke that thought and see where you guys' trajectory was on that, to see like where you would go, where you would end up. But My issue. What you still want?
No. I was just gonna say that's why I'm staying on track with it, because that's why I feel like he should have resigned.
Okay.
But also being like somebody that has seen it, I understand that it's like, yeah, he's the governor. Yeah, he needs to be held to a higher standard. But at the same time, like, he's a human being, lived in Virginia all his life, assuming it's not completely uncommon.
I think we should stop holding everyone. I can't say that either.
No, you about to say you gotta stop holding everybody accountable?
No.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say that. That's what's actually going on. But so my issue with that is I don't believe he should have resigned for that issue. I have a bigger issue, the fact that he lied about it. So if he had owned up to it and just admitted to it and apologized, that's fine. I would have no issue with it. As long as he's able to do an effective job as the governor of Virginia, cool. But the fact that he lied and recanted, that raises more questions to me than the actual incident.
What if he really did forget, or he really didn't know? Like, was that me? Like,
knows?
What if he was? I'm just saying, what if though? What if really? Because I mean,
that's something
if
pretty.
It is a lie, if you don't know if it's a lie,
did the truth fall? Did it make a noise?
Did it make a noise, my man? Like, what if he really did not?
Okay, the reason why I say he knows is because anyone who has, like, senior yearbook, you choose the pictures that go on into the yearbook.
That's a pretty distinct thing to like. How often do you put blackface on next to somebody in the Klan's uniform? And
yeah, like, that was my issue. That's why I felt like he should have resigned, because there was never a conversation that was truly had about it. If he would have came out and he would address everything and expressed, what his views really were, and he would have owned up to it and accept the responsibility, because it's his yearbook page,
right.
And everybody that has gone through, any public school system knows that you choose the pictures for your yearbook. Even if it is college. College ain't just going to sit here and say, we got this picture of...
You do?
Huh?
You choose your pictures?
In high school? Like when you're making your senior page? Yeah, you choose all the pictures that go on that.
Remember?
I didn't have a page, but yeah, everybody, you choose the pictures that go on your yearbook.
Pay for a page and everything like that. And
I don't even think we had the option.
Oh, to pay for a page. Did anybody have a page in your yearbook?
I didn't buy yearbooks. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, high school seniors, they get the option to buy a page, and then they choose all the pictures they want to go onto that page.
Oh, so that came from one of his pages.
Yeah,
like his
it was like his page.
Okay,
yeah. If you look at it, it will be like on the other side. It's like a picture of him, and it's like it says his name, I believe.
So why would he take? So that's dumb too. So why would he have a picture of somebody else on his page?
That's where the accountability. Yeah. That's where I'm coming from. Where it's an accountability thing, because he had knowledge of it, and he knows whether it's him or not. That's why I'm saying the conversation needs to be had.
That further presses my issue. My issue is with him lying about it. Like if he truly did it and he's remorseful for how what he did and how he attempted to portray black people, doing the blackface. If he was truly apologetic for it and he had learned from it, I had no issue with it. Or if he was just completely honest about it and said, that was me in the picture. But the fact that he chose to deliberately lie about it, and it's just so many things that aren't matching up with it. Like you said, that was his page, but I didn't know that. And then he recanted the statement the next day and said, "I'm not convinced that it was me." That's not even a straight answer, really. Yeah. I'm not convinced.
But you're staying still. He should never resign, though.
Not on the basis of that alone.
Okay.
But I feel like as black people, if we're going to have a big deal about it, then we also have to be conscious of our decisions when we choose to dress as white actors or white, like when you throw the powder and stuff on your face.
Who does that?
So you remember there was like a Vine or no. There was this video on Twitter a while ago, and it was like it was over a Bobby Shmurda song, and it was like, I think that I'm Tom Cruise, and then it had a dude with his sunglasses on and powder all over his face. And then it goes into, but bitch, I'm Bobby with the tool. And same way that we're having an issue with blackface, despite the history, 2018, well, this was probably like 2014, 15 time frame. Like,
but is that racist? Would you consider that racist?
No, I wouldn't consider it racist, but it's playing both sides of the coin.
Because you're just making fun of them? But one has historical context.
It does have historical context, but people are still going to try and play both sides. Like, okay, if you don't want us wearing...
If you try to play both sides, well, all lives matter. So,
you're right.
So who cares? It doesn't make it true.
All I'm saying, if we're going to hold the knife to their throat, then we also have to be conscious of
It's
what
not
we
our
do.
best.
By the way, I've never seen anybody doing that shit either.
Oh.
What you said about the
I've never seen the video.
I've never seen anybody do that.
It was Desmond.
Like, I've never seen anybody.
So I don't think we should do stuff like that for the sake of because it defeats our argument. Because if you're doing stuff like that, people aren't going to look at the historical context.
When you say do stuff like that, what do you
Like
mean?
doing white, I don't think black people should do whiteface. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they should do that. Even though you said it might not be, you don't consider it racist. I don't think that we should do it because it defeats the argument. Because other people,
Exactly.
that
That's all I
will
was saying.
see it and they'll say, like you said,
Or if y'all are going
Yeah,
to
what's
have
the
whiteface,
issue?
then why can't we have blackface?
yeah,
That's
they're going to
the-
ignore the context.
That's what I'm saying.
You're not doing yourself a great disservice by doing that.
Like if you start to make an issue out of it,
That's
you
like
have to open
saying-
yourself up to equal.
It's like saying you was
accountability.
doing a great disservice for defending yourself against racist people in the street because you didn't want to seem like them. You didn't want to seem like the same size. It's like, come on.
I'm sorry,
I don't follow it.
You don't follow. Like that's like saying you don't want to. Okay, you know how in civil rights they didn't want. There's some black people who didn't want to fight back or didn't want to defend themselves and everything like that because they felt that
Okay, I see.
they would be there would be a Ku Klux Klan in reverse or whatever. So I feel that's kind of saying the same thing. Does it make sense?
Yeah, but no, I'm just saying.
But yeah, that's just how I feel.
So you're saying because of how you might be perceived, you don't do
You're
something.
kind of taking it how white people tried to view the Nation of Islam and how
Yeah.
it was preaching anti-whiteness when it was really just preaching
But see, I think
pro-black.
just
But man, we can't even use that.
the violence part
Why?
that's different than just putting some coloration in your face. But the idea that I'm saying the reason where I'm against our side of doing like black people doing whiteface in to combat blackface is I believe we should be.
I feel like we don't do it to combat blackface though.
You say you feel like we don't.
Yeah, I feel like we don't do it to combat blackface.
I feel like I don't do it. Period. that's how I feel. But I'm just saying, like people, like they say, oh well, I don't know the motivation behind it. But I'm saying I feel like we should be beyond reproach, like to eliminate that argument.
Okay. All right. But okay. But
You don't agree?
No. I understand.
Did you answer?
Wow. No, I was about to answer.
You go into the store to buy some chalk after you leave.
About some chalk.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
some chalk to put on your face.
Oh, no. I just feel people. I've most of the time I've seen black people do whiteface. It's like in a comedy form, like only like Key and Peele or Dave Chappelle or something like
So
that.
you have seen it. You was just y'all were trying to. Okay. I ain't never seen that.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
Not a person on the show.
never
Like,
seen
well, you said
that.
a rap song. I'm like Bobby Shmurda. I never.
No, it was so you know how
on
people
Twitter,
were you know how people were making vines and all this stuff to like it was one of those type things.
But you said Bobby Shmurda, so
It was over a Bobby Shmurda song because he says
Oh.
and it's like just a random everyday average Joe made a and I mean it was popular off of it.
But I still feel that's different though because
It is different.
This is a very complex issue because I just thought about like the Key and Peele like Das Negros, the German skit. That's one of my favorite skits that they did. But I just said I don't feel like we should be doing that. So it really makes me question.
Because it makes it
Are
acceptable
you
to-
saying, are you saying it's disrespectful? That's why, or just because we might be viewed on the
I'm
same
saying
level as
because
them?
yeah, because of that, and I'm saying it contradicts what I just said.
It makes
Like,
it acceptable to
Right.
talk about, have conversations about, and do.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal skit. It was funny. Probably watch it this evening.
And it just goes into like the N-word conversation. How are they going to say we can't do this or say this or that when they still use it? If it's such a derogatory,
But you know why?
this is 2019, bro. I'm not saying that means anything, but everybody preaches equality now, and they want to strip history.
White people preaching equality? Is that what you're saying?
Essentially, when they say if you're arguing,
Are you saying that white people are trying to
No,
get
no.
equality? Is that what you're
that's
saying?
not what I'm saying. I'm saying based off of their argument, why are they using something? It kind of has like the equality, underlying undercurrent.
I understand what you're saying. I just feel like I'm just playing the bad guy
It's
here. I just feel
you-
bullshit. Come on now.
Because then you can sit there and say that, and then somebody's gonna be listening. Like, wait, is he really? Is he really doing? Is he really defending white people right now?
Let's go back in his timeline.
But
It's
He
white.
started digging up stuff.
It's white.
But
Gay goes like,
is he wearing white face?
another scandal. But I don't know if you might be surprised, but I'm continuing to be the bad guy. I agree with Bryan. Like, I don't think he should have resigned.
I actually said both sides, bro.
Hold on. How far do you agree with me? Are you saying he shouldn't resign because of that, or are you saying that the issue is him lying too? Or, like, do you agree with both
No,
parts?
I agree with both parts. I do agree with the issue. There's an issue with him lying, and I did gain my opinion after I realized that, oh yeah, he was lying about that. I forgot about that part. But
So y'all think even though he lied, he still shouldn't have resigned?
yeah, basically because it was in 1984, and what you said too. White people are unconsciously racist. I'm not saying that, hey, if you put on a Ku Klux Klan and blackface, you won't know that that's obviously offensive to somebody. I'm not saying that, but at the same time, what you said, Virginia is Virginia. White people have been white people as far as when it comes to being racist and everything like that. So, and then if you look at the policies now, how you were saying when he was like, well, you have to go back and measure if all of his policies, if he's really doing that for himself or is he really doing that just to get ahead in the political realm and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I feel you going back to intentions, something you don't even do. You look at it just actions, right?
Yep.
So I'm going back. I'm just like, what if we're just looking at his policies though? I mean, his policies influence, not influence, but are positive to black people and minorities and stuff like that. So why?
Do we actually know?
If it's
I haven't
policies?
followed it. I haven't.
If it's policies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've looked at his policy. Yes, he's a Democrat, so he's gonna have more leftist policies and everything like that. But I was just looking at it that way, as far as you was looking at more intentions.
Yeah.
Up
Sometimes I like to
up
play.
until this, he's been seen in a pretty positive light.
Yeah.
I would say
You said what?
from what I've heard about him.
Oh, okay.
He's a good dude. He's a good dude, but it's just like how he handled the situation could have been.
Simply because so you're saying if he didn't lie, would he?
It's not even y'all have
That's
said
my
it.
issue, yeah.
Y'all have like focused on the lying. I'm focusing.
I'm not really focused.
on.
I'm not focused on the line necessarily.
Well, that's what was brought up. So it's not even like you necessarily focus on it. I'm just saying like there was a conversation that should have been had, and the conversation should have like been public. It should have been like, this is what happened. I rebuke those views. I do apologize that this has come to surface because it's not what reflects my current views and beliefs as a human being. Instead of just sitting here saying like, oh, I apologize, and coming back and saying like, well, I don't even believe that was me.
See, the first one you did, that would have been acceptable.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I wanted. That's why I said he should resign, because that's not how he handled it. He could have handled it way better than how he handled it.
Would it matter if, like, say for instance, the next person in line was terrible, like even worse or something like that, or
Yeah, it would matter.
it would matter? Or, so you wouldn't want him to resign?
No, I don't think you're following that. I'm
What do you
saying
mean
he
terrible?
should resign on the basis of how he handled the situation. Period. I'm not necessarily calling for resignation, but if I was calling for the resignation, that's why I would do it.
Right.
No, I'm saying, like, say for instance he does resign. Like, say not that he does resign. Say for instance the next person, if he does resign, the next person that's going to come up to be governor is a whole lot worse.
Hold on.
That's kinda like
what
the
do
whole
you mean by that? Are you
presidential
saying
thing.
that they're worse in terms of like they're a bad governor, or they're
They will be a
racist?
bad governor. They are.
Or they have history, like
They-
stuff in their history.
Let's just say they're a bad governor at first.
Okay.
They're from Virginia. They have history.
See, yeah. Let's just say he's a bad governor at worst.
Okay.
But you say he shouldn't resign anyway. But so I'm technically really asking Desmond, do you feel, does that really matter? If he's just a bad governor coming up, or like, nah, man, he racist anyway, get him out of here.
Oh no. Like the thing is like that's a hypothetical. 100% hypothetical. So that's why I can't give you a straightforward answer of it, because I'm not just calling for the outright resignation. I'm calling for the resignation based off of how he handled the situation, not because he was in the blackface.
Okay.
So I'm not sitting here calling into question like 100% who is he as a person. I'm calling into question, how do you handle crisis situations? How can you do what's necessary for your constituents, basically? Like how are you managing the load when it comes to a situation like this, where it's something that black people could be passionate about, and that black people are part of your base? Like, how do you address the whole thing, not just what you choose to? I think if you're gonna like, I'm not saying he pandered to black votes, but if you're gonna understand that black votes are essential, if you're running as a Democrat, then you got to play both sides of the field per se. Like your policies got to be on point, and then you also have to be 100% aware socially of what your responsibilities are. So it's not like a resignation just because he was caught in a blackface. Like that's why I said, living in Virginia my whole life with the exclusion of 3 years, I understand it. That's why it's not a surprise. But at the same time, how he handled it as a Virginian who's lived in Virginia for so long, it needs to be addressed, because then it also opens up the conversation for, well, how do other white Virginians feel about black people? Really, how do they feel about blackface and the KKK? Do they view it in a negative light, or is it just one of those things that was part of their history and it's in the past? It's in their past per se, not necessarily the past historically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
but see, like the other part of it too, I don't know if you guys remember, but I had mentioned the precedent that you're setting.
Yeah. So
I think it's very careful how we handle the situation, because if we call for the resignation based of an elected official based upon, outside of how they're doing within their job, if we call for the resignation based on that because of how they personally feel about a particular group of people, whether it be a race, sexual orientation, or something like that, then that's what's going to happen from that point on. So someone who might not, whatever energy you start with, you got to keep it up. That's all I'm saying. So we have to be really careful when we tread down that road.
Okay. So let me give you an example.
Sure.
I guess it's like a scenario. Okay, so first of all, did you answer, like, what does it matter if the next governor is going to be, if the next governor's terrible at his job? Would you?
Well, you shouldn't. That would call for resignation. Like, if you're terrible at your job, you shouldn't be the governor.
No, as far as like the next person coming up, if he does resign, like, would you still want him to resign? If I know you say you wouldn't want him to resign, but does it matter if the next governor coming up is terrible at his job? Like, should people still be upset at him, what he did in 19?
But I'm saying I can't answer that because
I know it's not
That's
so
100% hypothetical.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's hypothetical?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because he seemed to be, from all I can tell, he seemed to be effective at his job. So I can't really, like you said, it's hypothetical. Mm-hmm. And I don't feel comfortable answering that. Like, I don't feel equipped enough to answer that question.
Okay. So I'm going to go back to my example. So, I don't know if you voted in the recent election, but
yeah.
Say, for instance, if Hillary was on tape saying the word nigga, but she was, of course, still going against Donald Trump, and Donald Trump had the same views, would you not vote for Hillary?
I don't really like her. I don't like either one of them. It's not.
It was one of those things where we're voting for a lesser of two evils anyway, because
That's
everybody
what
wanted Bernie to win, but
that is true. So are you not?
I mean, but then you also can't ignore Trump's racist past either. So
are you not voting? Are you?
No, you're still voting because
you vote for the most effective leader.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just gonna make sure. Is that okay?
But
because some people were just
I'm
not voting this.
Even then, like, you still can't ignore Hillary's like policies and what Bill Clinton supported.
Super predators and all
like,
that.
The negative history is there. It's just that who she was running against, it's
worse.
But see, Pusha T, did you hear what he said about her? How he was campaigning for her?
Mm-mm.
He said that he looked at that as an opportunity to hold her feet to the fire. So she wanted to campaign and get the black vote, but he remembered the super predator comment. So that was he was giving her a chance. He was holding her accountable and making her. Yeah. It was kind of a way for her to rectify her wrongdoings.
Exactly what
being such a detriment to the black community.
Exactly what Northam should have handled it, per se. Like it should have been a calling for him to address it instead of just trying to sweep it under the rug or saying that he doesn't think it was, because it's just a complete abandonment of accountability at the end of the day. Like, it's not like he was in the picture and it was on another friend's, yearbook post or yearbook. What is it called?
Page.
Yeah. Like, it was his yearbook.
So you're saying something he wanted to display. He was proud of it, or he wanted to share.
Like, it was a part of his life per se. You're not just gonna put it because you took one random picture with somebody in the KKK. Like, obviously, if you posted it's been there before. It's been substantially present in your life for a certain amount of time per se. Okay. whether it just been his collegiate years or it's what he grew up around. There's some history there, and he's completely like ignoring that aspect and that facet of it altogether. Because his policies do have provided, benefit to everyone.
Okay, so you say he shouldn't resign. So where's the line where black people like, okay, this is it? Like,
Do we really have a say?
I feel like
I was gonna say, do we really have a choice? Do we really have a say?
yeah.
well, we do make a good percentage of the votes, right? People need our votes, right, to win most elections, right? So do we have a say? You don't feel we do?
I feel like you should no longer serve in a position when your personal views affect your ability to do your job effectively.
Okay. So where's the line as far as what black people were like, you know what? Nah.
The line will be drawn when there are more black candidates that are able to challenge the status quo. Not only on a state or local and state level, but also, your president of the United States.
But until then, they can just get away with.
It's not them getting away with it. It's just that we're realizing that politicians only have but so much power, and they're serving the benefits and agendas of their PACs. So it's hard for us to draw a line when we really don't even hold all the power per se. Like the PACs hold all the power. Like who funds these candidates hold a lot more of the power than the people. It's just that candidate's job to go in and get the votes, and then he already has the backing he needs. Like if you already have the backing you need, only thing you're responsible for is getting the popular vote from a state.
So even if he came through with a song rapping about some racist stuff, they still wouldn't be enough?
Who is this rapper?
The governor.
No, I mean...
Okay, I was just making sure I wasn't...
That's what I'm saying. Until people of color are in positions of power to where they are funding
as far as it's
to where they're funding these candidates, there is no line to really draw because...
So you're saying it's a long shot?
Yeah, it's a long shot. Until black people are in a position of power to where they can fund their own...
So it's a big long shot.
It's a big long, yeah.
Okay. I would say until we have the majority of people who are oriented the right way, which supersedes just having black people, because we can't do it by ourselves.
You're expecting white people to care about it just as much as black people are to care about it.
We can't do it by ourselves.
Yeah. And being since they're both far-fetched, you just have to look at which one is more achievable. And really being realistic, black people starting to fund their own candidates is more realistic than white people starting to care about racism and equality on a national social scale.
Can our funding of our own candidates be on the same scale as...
No, because you're challenging generations of wealth. You're not just challenging one person with money.
So what makes you think that would be a difference?
Because money talks.
But like J. Cole said, I mean, I might have...
There are a lot of great minds who can make a lot of change, but current politics, money talks. Like,
what did J. Cole say?
No, I was about to say about him about having small money. And about other people having big money and they still won't listen to him basically. Yeah. But
laughing at the what did he say? It was off of Born Center. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Left with niggas with Hove money.
Yeah,
I forgot how it goes, but yeah, I just curious, like as far as like where black people draw the lines of the song. I mean, where black people like, you know what, I'm either not voting or...
Is he hurting the black community? That's where the line is drawn.
If he's hurting the black community,
yeah, that's.
But even then, people are going to forget.
That's a more specific answer to what I said earlier.
People aren't going to forget, but people are going to
ignore photo, just like a regular photo, isn't hurting the black community morally. I mean, is it hurting them mentally?
Josh, ask you, is that picture really causing you to lose any sleep?
Not me, but I'm a different type of individual than other people. I mean, other people could look at that like... Other people could be like, they really supported the governor, and they can see that picture like, what the... Like, that was my man. Like, what's going on? Like, could be really hurt. And they could be in bed like, really voted for this motherfucker. Like, I can't believe this. Like, and see, he doing blackface. He's no different than the Republicans.
But then that's their fault for subscribing more to his personal beliefs than what his policy stands for. Because Republicans have their personal beliefs, and then their policies also reflect, that.
Sure. I got you. But yeah. Anything else you guys want to say about this topic?
I think I'm ready to wrap it up.
No, sir.
As far as
Nah.
But what do you guys think though? Should Ralph Northam resign? What do you guys think? Comment below, okay? Let us know. But we're gonna wrap up this episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, Mr. Joshua Freeman. To my left, I got Mr. Bryan Carey. To my right, I got Mr. Desmond Tillman. As always, you can catch me on Instagram at Joshua VS Society. On Snapchat too at Joshua VS Society. Bryan, where can I catch you?
Bryan Almighty. BRY_Almighty_.
And on
IG.
Desmond, where can I catch you?
And you can find me at Dope is Des on both Snapchat and Apple Music.
Hey, you got the album for the week for us?
Yeah, the album for the week is...
After he's done typing?
Hey, bro, you all up in my... Nah. So album of the week is In the Cud, and that's by Kid Cudi. I want to say it was his either third or fourth album out of his discography. So it's Indicud, INDICUD. Came out, I want to say 2013. Yep. So might not be something you like, might be something you like, might resonate with you really well. I know Kid Cudi, for me, has helped out a lot, and I know he has helped the generation of millennials through their specific struggles. So if you haven't listened to it, give it a try. It's not for everybody.
Did you change your album of the week?
I didn't give you one. I jokingly said.
Oh, I thought you was
I
actually
jokingly
serious.
said the first one. It'll probably be next week because I actually like the album, but it's not what I've been listening to this week.
I was say you changed it.
Yeah, he did some earlier.
Yeah.
But
I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to spoil it, and then I don't want it to spark a debate feeling like I changed it for a specific reason. When really I was just pulling your leg because you talk about how you don't listen to none of the new music.
I don't know what you young kids are listening to nowadays. Your hip hop and the beats and whatnot.
Man, come on, bro. Just wrap it up.
But we'll see you guys next time. Peace.